It's hard to believe, my friends, but Donald Trump glitching badly at a recent speech in Washington, D.C., suggesting more crimes if he were to be elected president of the United States a second time. This was, again, at some kind of religious event in Washington, D.C. over the weekend. Here, Donald Trump says if he becomes president, he will deny entry to the United States to communists and Marxists. Is this potentially legal? I'll tell you in a moment. Listen to what the failed former president, twice indicted, twice impeached, had to say to a disgusting, sycophant crowd.
Made them competitive. Today, I'm announcing a new plan to protect the integrity of our immigration system. Federal law prohibits the entry of communists and totalitarians into the United States. But my question is, what do we do with the ones that are already here that grew up in it? I think we have to pass a new law for them. Using federal law in section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, I will order my government to deny entry to all communists and all Marxists.
Wow. Wow. Quite an idea.
Those who come to and join our country must love our country. We want them to love our country. We don't want them when they want to destroy our country. Welcome to America. We want to destroy your country. Thank you very much. So we're going to keep foreign Christian-hating communists, Marxists, and socialists out of America.
All right. So you get the idea. Keep communists, Marxists, and socialists out of the United States, also equating being a socialist to hating America. There's many socialists who like America in the same way that there's many people who think gun laws should be more permissive, who like America. Just because you want something to be different doesn't mean you hate America. But what Trump is proposing is almost certainly against the law and impossible from a practical perspective. It's against the law because Trump's idea would violate the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. It protects freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition. Communism and Marxism are political ideologies that people have the right to express, and they have the right to believe in them. As long as they are not advocating for violence or an overthrow of the government, they are allowed to believe those things. It is also against the law because it would violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which prohibits discrimination based on race, ethnicity, national origin, or other arbitrary criteria. Communism and Marxism and socialism are not inherent traits of any ethnic or racial group. They are movements, and they are quite complex movements, by the way, which have followers from different backgrounds in different countries. It's impossible from a practical perspective to do this because there's no clear or objective way to define who is a communist or a Marxist. There are many different branches and schools and interpretations of communism and Marxism. Some are contradictory, some are incompatible with each other. And there are also many people who just like one aspect of communism or Marxism. Like if, for example, are you a communist if you want to nationalize the airlines? I don't know. You can't come to the US on that basis. Are you a Marxist if you believe in the labor theory of value? Doesn't make any sense. And that's why it's impossible from a practical perspective. How can you reliably screen or monitor people's political beliefs at the border? And do you think for a second that those who say government's incompetent, everybody's incompetent, they now want to deputize immigrations and customs enforcement to quiz individuals about the political beliefs and determine if they are communistic, socialistic, or Marxist? It's insane and ridiculous and almost certainly against the law, which makes it a perfect proposal for Donald Trump. Couple other clips from this ridiculous speech. Trump also said that on day one of his presidency, he will again try to ban trans people from the military.
The Trump ban on transgenders in the military.
Wow.
We had it banned. Because our warriors should be focused on crushing American enemies, on being strong, on having the image of being strong. They have to be powerful. They have to be strong, especially when you see what's happening in the world today.
Yeah. So first of all, as usual, the biggest applause line during Trump's entire speech was when he said he would ban trans people from the military. Think of how crazy that is, though. Men are allowed in the military. Okay, nobody denies that. Women are allowed in the military. I don't think anyone denies that, even though there are people on the right who don't like that. So why would you ban trans people? If men and women are allowed in the military, why on earth would you ban trans people? And of course, we have a number of studies about this, and it makes no sense to ban trans people from the military. Trump did the entire thing about, yes, I'm a victim, but really this is about you, saying he is being invited for them, whatever that means.
Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of courage.
Right. Okay.
I'm being indicted for you, and I believe the you is more than 200 million people that love our country. They're out there.
Yeah. As usual, we don't know exactly what these numbers mean. 200 million people. Trump has said he has hundreds of millions of supporters in the country. He doesn't, certainly. Even if you assume that he has twice as many supporters as the number that voted for him, that still puts it at 150 million or under. And I think we all know that the number is actually quite smaller, much smaller than that. But this is part of the grift. The way he grifts money on indictments, which he's doing. Well, maybe we'll look at some fundraising emails he sent. Maybe we won't. We probably won't, actually. I'll just tell you, he's sending out grifty fundraising emails. And part of the reason that he's doing it is he has come up with this storyline of they're really going after you when they go after me. It's part of the victimhood complex. And then lastly here, Trump again misstating the law about classified documents, claiming there's no crime and he could do whatever he wanted with the documents.
Phony case. Well, it is true. I mean, it is true, isn't it? In other words, whatever documents the president decides to take with him, he has the absolute right to take them.
Really?
He has the absolute right to keep them, or he can give them back to NARA if he wants. He talks to them like we were doing, and he can do that if he wants. That's the law, and it couldn't be more clear.
Okay, so as Democratic Congressman Daniel Goldman explained on Twitter, this is an argument that should be blocked from even being made during Donald Trump's trial because it is a false representation of the law. One of the things you're not allowed to do in a defense is to misstate what the law is. The judge will instruct the jury as to what the law is. And the special counsel prosecutors will likely move to preclude Trump from making this argument in court because it is simply not what the law says. This is a TV argument that Trump is making. This is a PR argument. This is a grift argument that Trump is making. It is not actually what the law says. So another weekend, another completely unhinged and dangerous speech from the failed former president. Let's now look at what's happening with polling in the 2024 Republican primary. When you're using websites and apps, your device sends out data about you into the open, who you are, where you go, things you like. That data then gets sold around for advertising purposes, which is why every time I connect to the internet, I use a VPN to hide my IP address. And our sponsor, Private Internet Access, is the most trustworthy VPN on the market. It's the only VPN that has proven multiple times in court they don't log your activity. Private Internet Access protects you from the prying eyes of hackers, your internet service provider, tech companies. Private Internet Access is also super fast for streaming and for downloads. You can watch your favorite streaming platforms as if you're in another country, like the UK, to access cool new content. And with just one account, you can protect unlimited devices all at the same time. This is really a game changer. Private Internet Access is giving my audience 83% off. That's $203 a month, plus 4 months free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.